Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation. We bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. Today we are reviewing the latest news on the official website and Twitter. It's going to be a really quick one because we're still doing reveals of PBR1. I think that's the acronym for the best collection that's coming out, which is all alt arts it seems, and a Sanji leader. But what we can do first is jump into the store treasure cup announcement. We got store treasure cups coming in August, which is basically a very small 32-man tournament that gets you a chance at a Perona in promo packs, which is pretty cool. But in bigger news, we got our first announcement on Wave 1 of Nats, which is happening in Dallas, Texas, on July. The signups are in July. The tournament is September 14th and 15th. And it's going to be like our Nats that was in Los Angeles, but it's going to be one of two that we're getting this year. So we're going to get one in Dallas, and then we'll get another one in Orlando at the end of this year or beginning of next year. So we'll have two qualifying events for Worlds. And if you've qualified for a regional, you can either sign up for this one or the other one. If you've already qualified for one Nats event, you can use it for either one. If you use it for the first one, you have to re-qualify for the second one, which is pretty cool. You get a second opportunity. If you're a high-level player, you probably will get a second invite, so it'll be totally fine. But like Nats was last year, or at the beginning of this year, really, I think. Lots of promos, gonna be very well priced cards, most likely just reprints of stuff we've already seen, but with a stamp that makes it a little bit more expensive than the original. But we're gonna get two of these this year, which is really cool, which means I think Worlds will have 4 North American representatives instead of just 2, which is super cool. And seems like they're expanding the Worlds tournament a little bit, which is a great sign for the health of this game. And then this is just continuing it on about the convention center. And there's going to be side events, and this is going to be the Luffy card that comes as a participation for just showing up for like side events or even like the exhibit hall type stuff, which is pretty cool. Promo 80, just a red Luffy vanilla with counter. Pretty cool. An egghead Luffy at that. But with that being said, let's jump into our first bit of Twitter. This Dawn. I was informed in the comments last week that this is Kaido Dawn. I didn't even see the Kaido in the middle. That's how bad it was. So thank you for the comment section for that. I super appreciate being corrected. I should have paid a little bit better attention. But with that being yeah, that's it. Thank you for correcting me. This is Kaido's Dawn. We'll figure out, we'll show you why it's so obvious in a second. But let's move on to why you're probably here, which is the thumbnail image. We got our last 2 leaders. I believe it's the last 2 leaders for this set. And Shanks is one of them. That's expected, of course. We weren't sure of his color combination. I was hoping that it would be an extension of, even though we know this is Yonko's and this is the 4 Emperors, whatever you want to call them, I was hoping that it had a touch of film so that it could use the other stuff. But it's not. It's straight up red. No connection to film at all. Here it is. Shanks, red leader, 5 life, 5k power. Yonko, red hair pirates. Once per turn, you may activate this effect when your opponent attacks. Give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 1,000 for this turn. So the wording of that is really interesting. The you may activate this effect when your opponent attacks is super interesting because it's not a condition. It's not in the same formatting as a condition. So it's possible that that's just a amendment to the effect. And why they didn't put the bubble of on opponent's attack, I could not be any more confused about that. But it seems like, based off of how it's phrased and how it's worded, that you can do it once on your turn or you could do it once on your opponent's turn. I'm not sure if you can do it once on your turn and then once on your opponent's turn. That's one part I'm not super sure about, since the wording's already pretty confusing. But if you're able to do it on your turn and then if you can do it on your turn alone, that's going to be great, because you can lower your opponent's leader and get a lot easier like shots at leader. Or you can do it to a character and be able to run over the character a lot easier, which is super interesting. On opponent's turn, being able to lower someone so that they don't get over you, so they're attacking at 5k or they're attacking at 6k, you lower them by 1k and then you don't have to use a 2k to get over, is my thought process for this. Either way, it seems, I mean, if you can do it no matter what, both turns, that's a lot better, because then offensively you can attack over leader a lot easier. If it's just on opponent's attack, it feels mediocre, and I wish it was bigger. That's why I'm hoping that it's once on either turn, or both your turn and your opponent's turn you can activate it. Because then it actually becomes decent. Because right now, if it's just one or the other, not a super big fan, especially when we see like the Sanji, that was ridiculous. The rest of the leaders I feel like are pretty decent. With I think Robin being my favorite so far, which isn't even a Yonko, so that's funny. But we also got probably the most anticipated leader since the game came out, I think. Buggy. our next Pirate King right here in the blue color form. Buggy, blue leader, 5 life, 5k power, Yonko, cross guild. Activate main, you may rest 5 Dawn and discard 1 card from your hand. Play up to 1 character with the cross guild type from your hand. So this potentially is great. It has the ability to be really good. You have some decent draw power in blue, so you won't have to worry about discarding that 1 card. And as long as the cross guild characters are good and above 5 cost, it's perfect. So 6 to 10 Mihawks and crocodiles and potentially even buggies. Buggy manga would be hilarious to top this this set off. So as long as the characters that you can go into are good, this will be a good leader. And if the characters are bad or there's not enough decent support, then it will sit and wait for it to get good, because that's a pretty decent effect to be able to do that. Yeah, those are our leaders. I'm going to quickly scrub through the video that came out this week, which is basically the announcement for this upcoming special pack, the best. So it flashes up cards that are going to be reprinted, which are cards that we want to see so we can finish collections. And I believe most of these will end up having some form of alt art, either full arts of the original arts or an actual alternative art style. So we have full arts of the original arts, which have, I think, probably a different foiling, it looks like, because we also get the straw hat foil here. And then we get some new arts for old secrets and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But this is why I was so naive last week with the Kaido Dawn, because this is a alt art for Dawn for every leader that has been released so far. And then to finish it off, that's the Sanji leader alt art, and this finishes it off, which was gonna make the set way more expensive than it needed to be. The Nami manga, which is another very highly anticipated leader, or highly anticipated card that we've been waiting for, and we get it in a reprint set, which this set would have probably been pretty cheap, because there's just the Sanji leader, so you pick up your Sanji leader and then you're done if you already have all your cards that you want. If you want to go high rarity on stuff, then you're picking up singles maybe. But now that this card is here, I think it makes the set way more expensive, and way more expensive than it was before. But yeah, this is all of the Dons for every leader. I believe it goes through the starter deck ones as well. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like I've seen like Zoro's here. That's set 1. I thought I saw a Eustace one, which I believe he only has a starter deck leader. Yeah, Eustace. Yeah, so you got a leader or you have an alt art for every leader, which is super cool, which means if you're interested in that, putting together a like artistically full deck where you have your law leader with your law don or whatever, or if you want to have, I don't know, there's so much that you can do with this. It's really interesting and exciting that if you want to have don that matches your leader, there's no questions about any of the alt art dons now. You can just pick up these, and I think there's 3 rarities of versions of them, with the one on screen being, I believe, the highest, with the gold border. And then there's, I think, a normal holo with black borders, and then it looked like common, but it might be like low foil version, which is super cool. I'm super excited to see those in person, and since there's so many of them, that's another thing that could drive up the price for this set. But honestly, those are luxury cards, so there's certain people. I think the Nami is the game killer for that one. But that will do it for this week's episode. I told you it was going to be a quick one. I was really hoping that I wouldn't ramble on too much about the leaders. But speaking of the leaders, we have all the leaders. Which is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And does the Shanks fall short? Is the interpretation of once per turn what you think? What do you expect from this upcoming set? And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. And until next time, peace.